Welcome back. Outside Minds podcast. Because you've already seen too much, bro.
They only added it so it could be like a ritual.
They're saying there's these, the end of times, right? There's all these signs.
Do you think we would know? Like, do you think the general public would know this game?
Take a picture for $5. You have a purpose in life, and if you don't fulfill it, you will come back until you fulfill it.
Welcome back, outsiders, to the Outside Minds podcast. I'm your host and creator, Stilo Free. This is the other host and creator,
Zao 420.
and we got an amazing special guest today, all the way from the lands of West Hollywood. He does it all. He dances. He's on TVs. He's on TV shows. He's danced with Rihanna. He's danced with Beyonce. He's danced with RuPaul. He's out there. He's dancing right now, probably. Now he's on the show with us. Welcome, my brother from the same mother, Bad Kid, aka can you tell us your other name?
My online persona is RicoTV.
RicoTV. Rico, because you go by two names.
Just Rico.
Okay, just Rico. So how's that going? How's RicoTV going?
I love it. It's just like it feels kind of like being a superhero.
Yeah.
You have like this alter ego, and I kind of like to live my fantasy out through him.
I feel like you have to kind of have an alter ego to kind of go for it. Because me personally, I'm kind of an introvert naturally. So to kind of be like an artist and be on stage and stuff like that, I kind of feel like you kind of have to have like an alter ego that's kind of something that's more a little bit like kind of something where you can put a different kind of personality into that you don't normally have.
Just putting a mask on so
Yes.
you're not recognizing your true self or whatever.
Yeah, I'm an extrovert introvert, so I completely agree with that.
Yeah, so back, we were talking about it earlier, back when we were growing up in the 90s, we didn't really have the internet. The internet was something that kind of came in our childhood, and we kind of seen it like watched and develop because it kind of came to the public in around the 90s and kind of really became a household product maybe really in the late 90s and early 2000s as far as like PCs and household computers and stuff like that were going. So tell us a little bit about how you feel about how the kids now growing up 7, 8, 9, 10 up to 13, 16 years old, they have social media and they have internet. How was it for us back then, do you think?
So for the audience that doesn't know, I used to be I still am a dance teacher. I used to teach kids that age, like basically kindergarten through high school. And I can tell you that the difference between us and Gen Z, I feel like that.
The next one after millennial?
Yeah, the next one after millennial. Okay. I feel like their attention spans are worse than mine, and I have 0. And it's crazy. And there's just so far few of them that are just like actually aware and in the moment and not like spaced out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're like present. And the thing is, when we were kids, we obviously didn't have any distractions like this. So my memories are very just, you can only be in the present and be aware and be there. You know what I mean? But it's like kids now, they have like this duality. Some of them choose to tap in, but most of them are completely checked out.
Yeah.
What's
scary is, I think, the iPad kids. You see like a lot of people, like when you go out to restaurants and stuff like that, and it really starts with the parents.
Yeah, definitely.
And to give them a tiny bit of slack, I really see like a lot of parents, and I talk to a lot of my friends that are just like stressed out. They don't know what to do, bills, work, everything is just overloading on them, and they have this human being that they have to raise.
Screaming in
and
their
sometimes
ear.
The life hack is to just give them an iPad, and they're just on the iPad all day. And not only that, but they're on the apps, they're on the internet and stuff like that. Do you feel like that's kind of a factor in the attention span and the focus that's tending to lack in these kids?
Oh yeah, completely. Mm-hmm. It's because people. I don't think a lot of parents realize is that when a kid gets like a device like an iPad, if they don't have what is it called, the measures that kind of keep boundaries around them. I forget what that's called, but kids can find anything on these devices,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it runs so far and it goes so deep, and it only takes a few hundred clicks before they're like right next to the dark web.
Yeah.
So I don't think that parents really understand, but the escape that the parents receive when they give the kids the iPad, it's like, I feel like that's the blindfold, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they always need that extra, you know, few minutes to themselves, you know.
Well, the thing about it too is I feel like we were kind of the first generation to maybe recognize it, but also have a very concentrated amount of people who have ADHD and really have like a lot of trouble focusing. So with us growing up, because we didn't have the internet, we didn't have apps, we didn't have too many video games to get stuck on for hours and hours and hours, we kind of put that hyper focus that you need to get away from the ADHD. What you did, you put into dancing. What I did, I put into music. What Todd did, he put into video editing. You know, people had hobbies back then, and I feel like a lot of the youth is getting destroyed because, you know, hobbies and things like that and playing outside is getting replaced with, you know, playing video games and or streaming or just, you know, being on your iPad all day or something like
we
that.
would go skating for hours, you know. You don't know what time it is or whatever, but that's just what it was. And now my nephew's over here, you know, eating shit on the skateboard, and I'm like, bro, you're like 10 years old. You shouldn't be eating shit on the skateboard doing basic stuff.
With that being said, do you think kids should be limited to the amount of internet they have a day, kind of like where we were, kind of like back in the days? I think we kind of just really had, for the most part, an hour or two of the internet because we had to share a household computer, you know what I mean? And for the rest of the time, you kind of got bored after a while and you went outside, you know?
Yeah. I don't think kids should have access at all. If it were me, I wouldn't fucking let my kid on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, there's obviously benefits that come with, you know, kids learning earlier with these things, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you have that little 1% of kids that'll, you know, become super good at video games, and then all of a sudden this kid's 8 years old making, you know, six figures playing Call of Duty on stream or something like that. So that's cool. I like to see that, but at the same time, do you feel like that's kind of unhealthy because it sets an example for other kids around to say, hey, I want to do that?
Yeah. I think that the developmental years for kids, it's so important. And I honestly just think that growing up in a real world is just more beneficial for brain development. And it has to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Not only that, but around that age, they're all struggling to find some sort of identity. You know what I mean?
And they can't talk to other people because they're used to online personas. So when they get out in the real world, they just stop because they're not used to human interaction.
That's a crazy thing too.
You know?
Not only that, but the kids that were in the very early developmental stages, like around 3 or 4, like right when COVID hit, they're seeing that they're having strange, like very hard to integrate into society. It's like social anxiety.
They're on
behaviors and
lockdown
stuff
during
like that.
the prime years.
Yeah. And it's crazy, even with like their language skills, like they almost talk like adults, you know what I mean? Because they just share the vernacular with us, you know what I mean? So I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's like they're growing up super fast almost. You know.
So let's talk about the good things about the internet. The good thing, obviously, you know, we get to research conspiracy theories. We get to share information. The funny thing was people were on Red Note yesterday because TikTok got banned for a day. So they're over there sharing information with Chinese people and stuff like that. So talk about let's talk about MySpace real quick. Do you feel like that was the first platform that was kind of like I feel like that started social media, right?
Was it MySpace?
Well, that was the first, like,
because we had like AIM, but that was more
stuff,
messengers and stuff like that.
MySpace
That's what it was.
yeah.
Before MySpace
was AIM.
It was AIM and like chat
rooms, yeah.
Instant messaging. That's where I really
there were bulletin boards,
and around the time they had MySpace, or right before it, they had something. They had like all that. I had something called Buddy Pick, but there was like Rate My Pick, and it's basically you upload pictures and you kind of just like thumbs up or thumbs down people's pictures, I think. And then it turned into MySpace.
I was on this website called Downlink.
Oh no, not Downlink. Shout out to everyone who was on Downlink.
Let's just say it was the first grinder.
Classic.
Oh shit! Shout out to Black Planet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I remember you out of all of the siblings, you always would be like the first one to be like on the new platform. So first it was MySpace, and we were like, "What's MySpace? What's that?" And then we all got on MySpace, and after that we're like, "Well, what the fuck? What's Facebook? I'm not going on that." And then you had that first, and then we went on that, and after that I was like, "Well, what the heck's Instagram?" And then Instagram was like on the phones and stuff like that. So is there kind of like a feeling you get, or like I feel like you kind of have like a gut sense of like where the cool table is as far as like where is it going to be happening on the next digital media platform?
Like honestly, every time there's a new platform, I just look at it as a new opportunity. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And what better time to jump onto something when everyone's jumping on, you know? That's when where you see like the most engagement, at least in my experience. But
yeah, I was talking to you about it before, and I feel like a lot of these models too is like a get in early model, because like let's say like the YouTubers, or even like let's say OnlyFans models, or even like streamers and stuff like that. You have those guys that get in early and they kind of set the standard for like what it is, and then once you get more and more people popping up, it kind of gets harder and harder to get yourself up in the market because it comes so saturated. You know what I mean?
And I learned my lesson hard with Musical.ly, because when Musical.ly first came out 10 years ago in 2015, it was just, at that point, it was like, okay, it was another app, it was Snapchat, and then it was Musical.ly. It was like, okay, another app. It was like the iRoll, you know what I mean? Another app. And then I posted one video on there, and then maybe 4 or 5 years later, it became TikTok. Yeah. And then all the kids that were popular on Musical.ly, they were the TikTok celebrities now. Yeah. You know? And I'm like, bro, like,
you missed the wave.
My opportunity. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But you still ended up getting a sponsorship with TikTok, right? Or like a
well, yeah, when
an influencer TikTok profile?
It was like an influencer deal. Basically, when TikTok first started happening, they reached out to like a bunch of Instagram, YouTube influencers, and they basically said, hey, let's do a contract. So if you post one video every day for a month, then we'll pay you $600. So I worked a few months with them. Oh, wow. And I don't know if, because I was in that partnership with them, I don't know if that's why my account blew up so fast.
Oh, okay. That was going to be my next question.
Actually got lucky with the algorithm.
They pushed you in the algorithm.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but during that point in time, that's where I experienced like the most growth. I got like 250,000 followers during that short amount of time. But yeah, it's about jumping on early. It's about being ahead of the trends, you know, and you have to really look at it with an analytical eye.
It's like crypto. You have to get in early.
Yeah, you got to be consistent. You got to be talking about what's new. And the crazy thing is, you can make a lot of money from it. But as far as social media goes, it's crazy how much a part of it, of people's life it is. You know what I mean? People get fired every day for getting canceled on social media. You know what I mean? That's so powerful. You know what I mean? So to have that be your career and be in the public eye, you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a different kind of person to be like, you know, like, your whole career is your personality, as opposed to somebody like that guy who was at the Eagles game and he was caught on video just like straight up like cursing some lady out, like berating her, and then they were like, oh, find this guy, and then they send it to his work and he gets fucking fired. You know,
that's the internet in a nutshell. Now
it's kind of, you see both sides of the coin. What do you think about all the people that were getting ready to sue the government because TikTok got banned for a day?
Because TikTok got banned for what?
A day.
I didn't even know that people were.
Oh, they're crying online.
Yeah. Because a lot of people make a lot of money off it. Like, I know a buddy that's making $3,000 to $8,000 a month.
I saw all the outcry, and it's deservedly so. Like, there's so many people they make their living online, you know. And to me, it just seems so unconstitutional. Like, or immoral, I don't know what the word is, but
that's the word.
Take that away, to take that away from so many people, it just doesn't. It seems so un-American. It seems just, I don't know, like a crime.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out. I was gonna ask your opinion. Do you think it was more of because the thing is, China's getting your data. We don't want China to have our data.
They're profiting off of it.
Which is true.
Right.
I could see that, but if that was the issue, they would have took it away a long time ago when they first talked about banning it or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think, how much of it do you think is we're getting a new president and it's going from Democrats to Republicans, so they're trying to do whatever they can to make the other side look good?
Have any idea what it has to do with like the presidency, other than this is some sort of like propaganda PR stunt in order to sway public opinion, to make us like Trump or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you got to be really careful about that.
I think it's just to show you like we're in control. Don't get comfortable. Like, I'll turn off your paycheck if this is what you depend on.
Yeah. I think that was also a test too, to see how the public would react to getting their favorite app taken away. Number one, and then number two, I don't know. It's hard to speculate because like I said, if it was about China mining our data, they would have taken that away a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of other people are saying that because of the people's opinions about what's going on in the Middle East right now, as far as like Hamas and Israel, I think that's why it's getting censored as well. Or I think that's why people were saying that the app was getting taken down as well. But it's anybody's guess right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So did you check out Red Note?
I did check out Red Note, and honestly, it's just so hard to navigate the site. Everything's in Mandarin. But I posted one video on there, and it didn't blow up. But I don't know. I might post like a few more videos on there just to see where it goes and see how the community is over there. But did you make a Red Note?
No, I didn't make a Red Note because I don't know. I felt like TikTok was gonna be back too soon, and it was. It is. It's back. I don't know.
But now it feels like I don't want to rely on TikTok now. So like I'm not putting TikTok back at number one. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm definitely still gonna look at my other options and try to like
you should
stick my fingers into there. You know?
Yeah. So what's the latest and greatest with you? Have you been dancing with RuPaul or anything like that lately?
The latest and greatest with me is just content creation. Like that has just been my main focus this year. Like you and Mom, we made this pact that we're gonna post every single day this year. And bitch, I'm not playing. I'm not gonna
hey.
okay.
Yes.
I'm about to post every single day this year, and I got a bunch of content backed up for my days where I feel like, you know what.
Yeah,
post a little throwback.
Gotta have some in the vault for that. Nobody's that.
I'm just gonna go back to the vault, pull something out of there, keep the machine going, and I'm just gonna see like where I am a year from now, because there has to be some kind of growth there, you know. But I've been posting every day for the past 4 months. Like this is the most consistent I've ever been, and the growth is there. The growth is definitely there. It's gradual, but I see it happen. But another thing that I noticed that's happening is I'm getting like a lot more outside work, like gigs and like just random people hitting me up to do random stuff, music videos, photo shoots, just because like my face is always out there. So I feel like not a lot of people really put themselves out there like that, because maybe they're afraid of, you know, maybe this video is not going to perform well, or I'm not proud of this video. You know, I just think you should just push, just push
we
it
had
out.
That we had that
You know
conversation earlier in the group chat, and I think my biggest thing was you get really self-conscious. I wasn't really good at doing selfie videos. And now I am. Yeah. I'm going from doing it like 8 or 9 takes to doing it like the first or second take. And it might sound silly to some people, but to other people, they're just like, I'd never even talk in front of anybody, let alone record my face and put it on the internet. So there's a big spectrum of like stage fright when it comes to putting yourself out there. And I think, like I said earlier, you kind of have to be a little bit crazy when you're a content creator in order to put yourself out there, because you have to have this level of confidence that most people aren't really comfortable having.
I used to be behind the camera all the time, you know? So when starting the pod, it's like you have no choice. You just have to get comfortable with being in front of a camera.
What kind of advice can you give to people who have trouble trying to tap into that?
Well, the thing about making content is if you really want to be a content creator, your face is going to be what is the most personable thing about you. You know, it's going to be the most relatable thing. And if you really want to connect with some sort of audience, the best way is to be vulnerable. This is being vulnerable, you know, putting yourself in front of the camera, putting a light, putting a microphone up to you, you know, it's like, we're the type of societies that has all these type of dysfunctions about ourselves, you know. We hate our voices, we don't like our image, and you know, and it's just you literally have to put that to the fucking side, because it's not about you and what you think. You know,
it's about the audience, right?
Exactly. And if you just put yourself out there, there's a ton of people that they enjoy you. It's just like making friends, you know, like your friends enjoy you, don't they? It's the same thing with people out there. There's so many people that can enjoy you the same way that your friends enjoy you, you know? So why not share that? You know?
So
and I've learned that the more
ahead.
you put yourself out there and stay consistent with it, like, the more easier it is, the more comfortable you get. You know, you learn these little things along the road. You know, you fix these kinks as you go. Like, fix this light here, you know, fix that, whatever. And it can only get easier, you know?
Yeah, I like how you said that. I like the point you made about being vulnerable and people liking that because they can relate to it. Because the next thing I was gonna bring up, what I thought of when you said that, was the whole Ash Trevino and Shawty Bay thing. Do you think that's like a factor that plays into why they're so popular and why they blew up on TikTok? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know who Shawty Bay is, but I'm trying to figure out the context and what you mean about what is it about them?
Oh, there's this other girl who's like, her name is Ash Trevino, and I guess she's like, I think in her like late 30s or mid 30s, and then she was like dating this other TikTok boy who was like questionably like in his like 16, 17, 18 or 19, and then like she's just like this like TikTok star that like people are attracted to. They have this allure to, but she's kind of just like this chick that kind of just like goes on live and kind of just like drinks and plays music, and she's very ratchet, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like and then she had this beef with Shawty Bay, so it's kind of like this whole it had TikTok in a chokehold, I would say, you know what I'm saying?
I wasn't on that side of TikTok. I wish I was. Shit, that sounds fucking funny.
Oh shit. So I was also gonna ask you, you've been viral a few times, right? Do you have like, because I know sometimes when I'm gonna post like something that I think is pretty funny, I kind of have this little inkling where I'm just like, oh, that's funny, I'll put it with this, or I'll put it with this meme and I'll post it and I'll put it with this music, and it's just going to be really funny. And I feel like sometimes those posts will do a little bit better than other ones. Do you ever feel like you have any content, or you have an idea that's just like, oh my God, I have to record this idea right now, it's going to go viral? And what kind of gives you that feeling if you do get it?
Well, when the inspiration comes, like I just jump on it, you know. Sometimes I'll just be sitting down watching TV, and then like something will spark an idea, and I'm like, you know what, I got to get this out of the way now, or it's not gonna happen, you know. But that's how I feel on that. But what was your first question? I was about to jump on that.
Oh, do you remember what I asked?
Hell no.
I don't remember what I asked.
You like doubled up on your question. I was gonna answer the first part, but yeah.
So
what were you talking about again?
So it's just about making a viral video, like kind of.
The viral video. Okay, so my viral videos, every video that I've ever made where I've gone viral, I have had zero any sort of type of thought put into whether or not this would go viral or not. Some of them were just someone else recording.
That's what I was gonna say too.
What I mean? So you just have to. Like, it is good to like have a production mindset, you know. I do feel like that is helpful to create some sort of structure, but I wouldn't put too much thought into trying to create the perfect video, you know what I mean?
It's like certain movie scenes where they go off script and it makes it way better, right?
Yeah, no, I just feel like sometimes I get this feeling where I'm just like damn, this is gonna be really good.
Oh, for
You
sure.
know what I mean? It's kind of like when you're in the studio and you're making a hit and you're like, oh shit, like we got something. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right. There was that one video where you were in the Banning mascot uniform and someone else was filming you from the audience. And I think that might have been one of the first videos to go viral because I think it might have got like 100,000, 200,000 views on Facebook, right?
Yeah. I honestly think I think the key is to just find that flow state, you know?
Okay.
Just find that moment where you're just not even really tuned in and thinking about it, you know, but you're having fun and you're connecting and you're enjoying yourself, you know? Like I feel like when you're in those moments and they're captured candidly, I feel like that's what a really good recipe for a viral video is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to chase something that you think everybody is gonna like. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like especially when I was starting like my YouTube channel or something like that, or even like when you like tell someone else like you have like a podcast, you're just kind of just like you have like that little egoic like little voice in your head that's just like, oh, this just, you know, when you're gonna set up yourself to like record yourself for like a video, at least me or the average person I think is kind of just like, oh, it all just seems so silly. Like this is so silly. You know what I mean? But like I said, you kind of you got to flip into that state where you're kind of just like, I don't care. Like one of our buddies we actually had on our podcast not too long ago, he said, you know what I tell people, you know, get drunk. It might not be the best advice, but you know, it kind of helps you shed that ego so you can kind of figure out how to be your true self in front of a camera. Is there anything that you can attest to or give any advice to people that are trying to do that?
Yeah, whenever that feeling comes, like that voice or whatever that's trying to tell me that like this is dumb or I'm too tired to be doing this or whatever that voice is telling you in that moment, you know, I always tap into like, this is work, you know, like I'm clocking into work and I'm a good worker. That's just what it is. Even before the social media and all that stuff, when it came to my professional dance life and my career, when I showed up to work, bitch, I showed up to work. Okay. And I showed up to work, you know, like, so that's just how I treat it when I hear those voices, you know. It's just like, bitch, you got to do it anyway, so you might as well fucking do it with a smile and a good attitude. You know what I mean? So that's what this whole journey for me has really kind of turned into. Like it's turned into 9 to 5, even though it's not a 9 to 5 because I just choose my own hours and I do it when I want to do. But I treat it like work, you know, and I put the effort in that, you know, I want to see a good result, you know, so that's how I treat it.
Let's talk a little bit more about putting yourself out there and being the person you are, because like we said, you have a difference between yourself and then maybe some people have like a mask they put on, and then we talked about also being vulnerable in front of the camera and being your true self and stuff like that. How much do you think people have to walk those lines now, and what do you think about cancel culture? Because it's been so difficult for some people to make a living with this being so embedded in their career. So when I mean that, I mean like when people got TikTok shut down, like that kind of, you know, messed up businesses. It messed up people who were content creators and stuff like that. So do you think moving along cancel culture is going to have as much of a hold on social media as it did before, or do you think we get a little bit more free speech?
Yeah, I feel like this whole cancel culture, it kind of feels sort of like it's an era kind of thing, you know? It's like we're kind of going in and out of like what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. And I am hoping that with this new era of the presidency and with TikTok, like it's going to be a lot less of that canceledness, because I'm just so sick of people holding their tongues and like, you know, not saying what they really want to say, you know? It's like, we got to hear what you really are thinking, you know? So I'm just hoping that with this new era, I think that we're moving away from the cancel culture area.
Well, more people are opening their own platforms, like especially in the podcast world, where you can't cancel them because they're hosting themselves. So.
Well, it's good that you say that too, because when you are in a society that accepts cancel culture, it gets more and more easy for the population to fall into groupthink. and to fall into a pattern of thinking that is just, I'm just going to do what this person's doing because I don't want to get scrutinized for the way I really feel. You know what I mean? And that's really dangerous because you have certain groups that are just like, okay, just because you're a Republican doesn't mean exactly this, or just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean you exactly have that or believe that or whatever. It's in reality, a lot of people are very centralist and they just want to live their lives and stuff like that. So in my opinion, I think if cancel culture has a little bit less of a hold on society, it might be better for us because people might feel a little bit more comfortable to express ideas, especially if they differ from the mainstream narrative.
Yeah. Was that a question?
No, it wasn't a question. It was just my input. But yeah.
It's a great pause.
Your hair looks amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
That looks crazy.
You know, I used to be going on my little journeys, my little side quests.
Are you working tonight or what?
No, tonight I'm not working, but I am meeting up with somebody who, I don't know if you heard, but my bike got stolen.
Oh.
So, and this is what I'm talking about, the power of the internet, you guys. Like, one of my followers bought me a new bicycle.
Oh,
No way.
Sick.
Yeah. So that's just, you know, one of the little, you know, things along the road that I find that just keep telling me to keep going. You're going in the right direction. You're doing the right thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's coming to drop the bike off right now, right
Sick.
after this. I'm about to meet him. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. One last question, just a hypothetical. What happens to the entertainment industry as far as dancers and entertainers if social media goes black tomorrow? Let's say Instagram gets canceled. Let's say TikTok gets canceled. Let's say YouTube gets moderated so that only the media corporations can upload onto it. What would happen?
What would happen?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that could ever happen. Is that possible?
Well, they just banned TikTok
definitely
for a
can.
day.
It's
So-
definitely
Well,
possible.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, did it really happen? It happened for a few hours, sure. Like, I don't
it's
know.
showing you it's possible though.
Yeah, but a lot of
I mean,
some
Because
people were
not
saying
even
it-
with VPNs you couldn't access it.
Yeah, but some people were
Yeah.
saying it was a stunt as well. So
for sure.
maybe it was just them exercising
But-
their control.
But they are showing you that it can happen. That we can
Yeah, but
easily turn the
right,
button
but-
off.
theoretically, if it did happen, I guess I think that it would probably go back to like.
Do you think the
the
clubs would
old
get
days, like-
popping again? You know what I'm saying? Do you think people
Yeah.
would go outside
It'd be
again?
like
and
passing
everyone would be like-
CDs back in the
Yeah,
days.
yeah,
You know, that's the
people-
only way you get heard.
You know, I want to throw
Yeah.
a no phone party. I want to throw an
Oh
event
yeah,
where
and we got to
people-
get disposables for that event.
Yeah. Or you can just like
pass them
zip it up in
around.
their phone, and everyone you didn't have to be forced to either like hang out and talk to your group or just socialize with the people around you. You know what I mean? Like back in the 80s and 90s.
But then there's always that one motherfucker who's gonna ruin it.
Yeah.
He ain't invited.
Kick them out.
Yeah.
Kick them out. Anyways,
Right.
thank you for coming on the podcast. RicoTV, Bad Kid, Ink LA, John Silva, John, Wonton John, my bro. Give them some links. Let them know what you're working on right now. Do any promotion you need to promote right now. Let's hear it.
Okay, well, you guys can follow me on TikTok. It's been
Yes.
reinstated.
Yes.
It's at RicoTV_99. And you can follow me on Instagram, which is at BadKidTV99. I wish I could find a handle where it's like the same for everything,
Mhm.
you know? But as of now, you just have to do a little bit more work to find it. But yeah, I will be posting food reviews, doing comedy, doing funny skits, lip syncs, wig lip syncs, doing all the things, you know, just, you know,
Nice.
entertaining you full round. I still have a song that I need to get out with you, Jeremy.
Oh
So
yeah.
still have-
We got another song coming out soon. We have one song out. We're gonna get another one. We'll probably do more and stuff. So
Yeah,
stay
we
tuned.
still have that in pre-production,
Yep.
so look out for that.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, you can stream my current song.
Yep.
I think I Like Girls.
Yep.
on
Check that
iTunes,
out. Check that
Apple
out.
Music, and all the platforms.
Check it out.
And it was produced by my little bro, Stilo Free. So yeah,
Yep.
check it out.
You know what it is. Thanks again for being on the podcast. Outsiders, stay live, stay outside. I'm Stilo Free. This is.
Doubtful 20.
We'll see you next time. It is what it is. We out.